We all know that nothing is static in this dynamic universe. Consequently, evolution takes place. Evolution, which is defined as gradual transformation from one form to another, is a natural phenomenon and it is a never-ending process. Our present form is a product of gradual transformation through generations that have passed through different geological time periods. Physical anthropology probes into different stages of human evolution and unveils how mankind achieved the present form. It also studies the ongoing microevolutionary changes in human populations. So physical anthropology is also defined as the subject which deals with the studies on human in time and space. Here, time refers to different stages of evolution, whereas space refers to different types of people living in different parts of the globe.
There is a great deal of variation among human populations or groups living at present in different habitats of the globe. Some are tall and a dark complexion with curly hair, while some are short, have fair skin with black hair. Take for instance the eye. One will find a number of variations in terms of color of iris, eye opening, size and eyelids. It is a huge task to find out every detail of such morphologically observable variations. There are also variations in biochemical properties which are not visible morphologically. These are not only the core issues. There is variation in terms of language, belief, and cultural practices. Variation is a natural phenomenon which is again the threshold of evolution. Despite these variations, mankind belongs to the single species, Homo sapiens, by virtue of which mating among the physically and culturally different groups all over the world is fertile. Physical anthropology deals with a study on human variation from biological perspective with a view to understand and explain the reasons of variations.
With its aim and objective of understanding about human origin and variation, physical anthropology can be divided into 5 main streams, which are further divisible into several subspecialized areas. The 5 main streams are Paleoanthropology, Primatology, Ecology and Adaptation, Auxology and Demography, and Human Genetics. Now let us see what is Paleoanthropology.
Paleoanthropology, derived from Greek word paleo, meaning old, means anthropology of the past. It is a study of fossil remains of human ancestors and associated cultural remains. Physical anthropologists, together with archaeologists and geologists, have unearthed fossil remains in many parts of the world. With their knowledge of geology, paleoanthropologists examine, measure, and reconstruct these remains, often from mere fragments. This has enabled physical anthropologists to propose lines of descent from our ancient ancestors to the present form of Homo sapiens.
Primatology is the study of non-human primates. The order primate in the animal kingdom is the group to which humans, apes, monkeys and prosimians belong. The anatomy of non-human primates, especially monkeys and apes, has been studied to ascertain the similarities and differences between these primates and humans. Study of comparative anatomy helps to trace the evolutionary relationship between human and non-human primates. The best example of ancestral commonness of humans and non-human primate is provided by shoulder metaglyph.
Delicately structured rich configurations on the palms and soles in association with opposable thumb and big toe are functionally meant for effective grasping on the branches for brachiating locomotion. Human's big toe has been modified for terrestrial bipedal locomotion. It is no longer opposable like that of non-human primates. But unlike other terrestrial animals, humans have delicately structured ridges on the soles, which is nothing but the evidence of common brachiating ancestor with non-human primates. Because of the remarkable similarities among monkeys, apes, and humans, researchers have been able, through laboratory experiments, to learn similarities at protein and physiochemical responses too. It is now established from DNA hybridization that chimpanzee stands closest to human. Because of the similarity in blood types and physiochemical responses of chimpanzee and humans, the space program in 1961 selected a chimpanzee named Ham to be the passenger in a space capsule launched in suborbital flight with a view to learn physiological responses likely to face by human under the similar condition.
An important aspect of physical anthropology is the study of human variations by taking measurements, that is anthropometry, visual observation, that is somatoscopy, genetic traits, biochemical examinations, etc. for systematic classification and scientific explanation. Study on ecology, environment and its factors, and adaptation plays major role in finding out the causes of human variation.
Various agents of eco-niches, together with cultural factors, shape physical or biological characters of human during the course of adaptation. What is unusual in the adaptation of human being is the accumulation of information about the environment and accordingly development of technology, ways and means to cope with the ecological conditions. The knowledge thus accumulated and the technologies developed thereon have been passed from generation to generation as culture. Temporal adaptation through cultural means gradually led to long-term adaptation, which resulted into modifications of biological characteristics. For instance, dark skin color due to heavy melanin pigmentation is related to adaptation in hot environment. Heavy pigmentation protects the body from excessive absorption of UV ray that may lead to calcification of soft tissues and development of skin cancer. Narrow nostril of the cold environment facilitates the compression of air while breathing so that the air warms up before reaching the lungs. Physical anthropology thus explains the reasons of variation among human beings with a view to thwart the concept of racial prejudice.
One of the main pillars of physical anthropology is represented by Auxology and demography. Auxology, it's a Greek term and also known as Auxology. Auxology is a study on growth. So, Auxology is the study on growth and changes throughout different stages of human life. Whereas demography studies on human populations about the size of the population, age and sex ratio, birth rate, death rate, etc.
It begins from the moment of fertilization and prenatal periods, that is, ovum, embryo and fetus, to postnatal growth and changes through different stages such as infant, childhood, adolescent, onset of menarche among the girls, and adulthood, maturity to senescence, including menopause among the women. Assessment of rates of growth, skeletal age compared with chronological age, and genetic, endocrinology, nutritional, topography, epidemiology, and socio-economic factors, etc., that affect growth are foci of research by physical anthropologists. Side by side, demography studies on human populations about the size, age, and sex ratio, age at marriage, fertility performance, birth rate, death rate, longevity, migration and economic activities, etc., which are determinants of stability or instability of populations.
The science of heredity, genetics, explains the causes of human variation. In fact, source of variation is genetics, and the environment selects the favorable type. A gene is a sentence composed of words of 20 types of amino acids. The letter in turn composed by 4 types of alphabet, that is the nucleotides of DNA. The term allele refers to different forms of a gene. Dominant allele expresses in both heterozygous, that is the dissimilar combination of alleles, and homozygous, that is the similar combination of the alleles in all these situations. Whereas recessive allele is expressed only in homozygous genotype.
Modification in the spellings of genetic words by replacement of nucleotides is called point mutation. Mutated gene, that is, new allele, may be harmful or harmless or may be beneficial in an environment. Harmful dominant alleles are usually eliminated from the population as the individuals carrying such alleles cannot survive, while the harmless and beneficial alleles are retained. Mutations at micro level, introducing harmless or beneficial or even deleterious recessive alleles in the population, gradually modify the genetic characters of the gene pool. Population genetics deals with the study on changes in the gene frequencies of a population's gene pool, which is known as microevolution or genetic basis of evolution. Initially, blood groups constituted the bulk of data, but now many other molecular traits, particularly DNA sequences, have been analyzed. At the turn of the 21st century, geographic populations were described in terms of Mendelian populations and gene frequencies. This information is combined with linguistic and archaeological evidence, resolves puzzles on the peopling of continents and archipelagos.
The knowledge of physical anthropology, the techniques and methods employed by anthropologists are of immense applied value. Some of the uses and applications of physical anthropology are anthropometry in ergonomics and designing of essential articles. Number 2, health and medicine. Number 3, Kinanthropology. Number 4, forensic anthropology. Ergonomics. This term is derived from Greek. Ergon meaning work, nomos meaning norm or law. That means ergonomics is human engineering. It deals with designing of machines, work methods, and environment to take into account of the safety, comfort, and productiveness of human users and operators. Anthropometry is the science of measurement of the human body, and it can be divided into two types, that is static measurement and dynamic measurements.
Static measurements are useful to determine the space to fit persons and necessary clearance around the body. While working, different parts of the body move, and accordingly the objects to be used are designed, for which dynamic measurements are important. The body size and limb proportions vary from population to population. Age and sex are two other factors that should be taken into account. Physical anthropology provides necessary information on these different aspects, which are useful in designing machines, weapons, furnitures, garments, and footwear, etc.
Physical anthropologists have roles to play for healthy existence of mankind. Examination of clinical symptoms, anthropometry are important methods for assessment of health and nutrition. Indices like body mass index, weight for age, height for age, etc. are some of the common methods used by anthropologists in the assessment of growth and nutritional status, especially among the children. Anthropometric characters of individuals are also indicative of certain diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, tuberculosis, and malarial diseases, etc.
Knowledge of prevalence of certain defective genes in the populations, such as G6PD deficiency, will be of great help to the physician while treating malarial patients. Because such persons cannot be given malarial drugs, it is fatal to them. Anthropological knowledge about the merits and demerits of inbreeding, blood group compatibility of the couples, and genetic diseases will be of immense value for the common people in making decisions about choosing life partners. Recent trend of molecular anthropology probes into human origin and dispersion at DNA level, which entails identification of genetic codes that determine susceptibility and receptivity to diseases and subsequently determinants of adaptation, which are likely to discover in different human population of different eco-niches. These kind of knowledge will be of invaluable help in the advancement of genetic medicine.
Kinanthropology. It is the anthropology of sports. The term kinan is derived from Greek, meaning to move. So, Kinanthropology is in fact application of anthropological knowledge in the selection of suitable sports persons for different sporting events to achieve maximum human performance.
Individuals are of different body structures and temperament. Some are stocky and sluggish, while some are lean and agile. Some have proportionately longer limbs and shorter trunk, while some have just the reverse. They can be categorized into different somatotypes such as ectomorphic, mesomorphic, and endomorphic. Some are taste sensitive to PTC or phenyl thiocarbamide, and some are taste blind, and so on. Kinanthropologists deal with sorting of jargon of such data on human variation so that exploitation of sports talents by mistaken selection and unnecessary training can be avoided. Kinanthropologists take anthropometric measurements of the sports talents, and the latter are also subjected to physiological and biochemical tests along with various motor performance tests, and thus sports talents can be sorted in accordance with their suitable events so as to achieve maximum human performance in different fields of sports.
Forensic anthropology is that branch of physical anthropology which deals with the identification of persons from biological remains.
With the expert knowledge of the human skeleton, dentition, hairs, fingerprints or dermatoglyphics, saliva, and blood genetics, DNA sequencing and archaeological methods, physical anthropologists provide invaluable assistance in the identification of victims and perpetrators of crimes and casualties of accidents and wars. Because of the wide spectrum of problems, methods, and practical applications, physical anthropologists specialize in one or a few sub-areas.
To end up, it may be recapitulated that mankind was not created all of a sudden. We are a product of biological evolution, and variation is a natural phenomenon. No two things are exactly alike. Even the children of the same parents are different. So mankind living in different parts of the globe, we may look different in our morphological appearance, we may speak different languages, and may have different culture and tradition. But cutting across all these boundaries, we belong to the same species, that is Homo sapiens. And Our mitochondrial DNA points out that we originated from the same mother. So no one is superior and no one is inferior. Underneath the skin, we are one. This is the message of physical anthropology.